Sammy said after the game the other night that he felt like his best game came on the heels of maybe his best practices, and that he had to change the way he practiced.
Hey, I think, listening to Sammy talk and talking about that and watching the way he's worked out to this point in time this year, I mean, he had a really good work week, coming in, especially off of the open week, trying to get some routine, trying to get his body into playing shape, get into a rhythm, and I think that's something he's been missing. And when you really prepared all during fall camp and you knew you weren't going to get to play the first 2 weeks and you couldn't get in a rhythm and he gets sick, there wasn't really, it was just hard to get into that playing shape. And I think that was one of the things that we've really challenged him on is trying to practice harder to try to speed that process up. And I think he really bared down on himself last week. I know we bared down on him, but it was more so him just kind of taking note and just bearing down on himself. And we're very proud of the game that he had. But we've all come to kind of expect that every game out of him. And when that doesn't happen, everybody's want to know what's wrong with Sammy. When it's just a matter of time before he breaks out. And I said it a few weeks ago. I think he's going to do it at the right time when this football team needs him the most.
And he also said he felt like this might be the first time you've really opened up the playbook, taking the shots. Is that?
Yeah, it is. I just felt like that we had to be aggressive, a little bit more aggressive than maybe what I've been in the past week or so, and having him in 100% playing shape, and having Nuke. We all know what Nuke has done this year, but when you look back at it, we're at our best when we're spreading the ball all over the field. And I think we had 16 different people touch the ball the other night, and that's a tribute to those guys just executing the system. I was pleased with that, but yeah, we were definitely a little bit more aggressive.
Was there anything Wake Forest was doing in particular that gave y'all trouble when you were trying to run the ball?
Well, yeah, there was. I mean, they were definitely loading the box up on us. We wanted to come out and try to establish a run game, try to get Andre going, and they were just, they had made a decision they were going to bring the extra 2 hats in the box and play some man coverage. That kind of has been the flavor this year. When Florida State played us 2-man most of the night, it's kind of like everybody's kind of followed suit. And we've seen a lot more man and zero coverage than we anticipated we would see this year with the skilled guys that we have. So when that happens and they're going to stop the run, you're forced to hit some balls over the top, and you got to be able to throw the football, and you're crossing games and be able to hit those. And I thought we did that the other night. So, but they were definitely going to take away the run.
Does that surprise you, considering the skill guys that you have?
Well, it does. I mean, it really does kind of surprise me in that regard. But when you see that the type of skill guys that we have, Sammy hadn't been back 100%, and you've had Nuke and our Jerron and Adam and those guys. But when you're able to get 2 going, it really takes a lot of pressure off everybody, and just gives us that breath of fresh air. And we were able to hit that the other night on 3rd and 11 or 3rd and 12, whatever it was that we hit, and I think it backed everybody up at that point.
How would you, evaluate the line? Was it more the fact that they were putting the guys in the box, or?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we played okay. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I thought we could definitely play a lot better. I was very disappointed that we were unable to get any run game going. I attribute a lot. They did. They had some extra guys in the box, but. So what? I mean, we at least need to be able to establish a little bit more of a run game, and I took some pressure off those guys with throwing the ball, and we're going to do what we have to do to be successful. But I definitely, even though there was times that when they didn't have the extra hats in the box, we still weren't knocking them off the ball like we need to, and we've got to get that going. And so. I can promise you, that's one thing that we're going to work on and continue to work on. We work on it every week. I mean, it's like a broken record, but we work on it every week. And but until we can get the competition that we need to get to push those guys up front, it's going to be the same. I'm going to be saying this next week too, type of deal. and we're just not there yet. We don't have the competition to push guys. We got them at the skill position. We can push guys at skill position right now, but we don't have the competition that we need to have. And we got some good young guys, but they're just not there yet. And it doesn't mean there's something wrong with them, and doesn't mean anything's wrong with the guys we got. I love the guys we got, but as a coach, you can only push them so hard. I mean, you can only get on them so long, and until some point in time, you got to be able to pull the job from them and make some moves there. But there were some bright spots, but we do have to knock them off the ball a little bit more, and I think everybody saw that. I know up front those guys did, and hey, I think we had a good plan going in, and they were going to try to stop the run.
You mentioned bright spots. I mean, given the fact that you lost over 8,000 snaps and over 140 starts, all things considered, I mean, the O-line is doing fairly well.
Very well, yeah, they have. I mean, again, I'm a typical coach. I mean, I want to be able to line up, knock everybody off the ball, 3 yards off the ball every play, and I know that's not going to happen. I'm proud of those guys. They are, and we've tried to develop that continuity of those 5 guys. And but you just wish you had a little bit more competition to push some guys to motivate them. Brandon Thomas, to motivate a David Beasley, which we do. Ryan Norton's really coming in and kind of giving us that spark, but Ryan's also having to give a spark at center and at right guard and at left guard, and so there's just nobody at that tackle position, either tackles, that's really ready to make a push. And but I'm proud of them, and I think I think that those guys would be a little bit more on edge if knowing their job was at stake every week.
What about the young man that didn't get talked about a lot, Sam Cooper at tight? Sam is a guy that is really starting to earn a lot of people's trust, and is playing physical. I'm very proud of Sam. Made a great catch the other night, obviously, but he's playing a lot more physical, a lot more confident in himself, and I'm glad to see that. I think you're going to see a lot more of Sam Cooper. I think he's earned that, again, that's maybe it'll spur Brandon Ford on a little bit more. We got a good competition, good battle going on there. So I'm proud of Sam and really excited to see him grow and kind of come into his own. I told him the other day, how proud I was of him and was able to, him catch that ball the other night, and because that was a tough catch, even though they had spotted him where he was, Sam's a guy that's definitely going to get a lot more reps.
The lack of touches at tight end over the past couple of weeks, is that people scheming to take it away, or?
No, I don't think so. I just, looking back at our production from that 3-back position where we were a year ago to where we are right now, it's not. Obviously we were ahead last year with Dwayne, but it is what it is right now. I mean, Sam's got to be a guy that's going to help push Brandon forward on a little bit. We got to get Brandon playing faster. He's just not playing with that sudden burst that maybe he was a little bit early in the year. And I know he's kind of been banged up a little bit, but we got to get Brandon going a little bit. And I think the competition with Sam behind him is going to push him. I do.
Any thought to getting Andre outside the tackles more?
Well, we did that the other night. We tried the other night with some of our outside zone scheme, and actually had a couple. We slipped on a couple of them. We did on some of our other our zone read stuff and get him outside the box, and just trying to get him going, get him loose, and we were close the other night.
What are your impressions of Duke's defense? Have you watched them on Saturday, watched them on tape?
Yeah, very well coached, very sound. They're a 4-down scheme, 4-2-5. They too play a lot of man and zero coverage. So they did that against Florida State last week. They may play as much zero and cover one as anybody we've seen this year. So they like to bring a lot of pressure when they do that, and they want to bring more than you can block. So we're going to have to work on getting the ball out of our hands when that happens. And again, when people do that to you and they press you up, you got to be able to take some shots over the top. And that's what Florida State did. They did some big plays on them. But they're very well coached. They're sound in everything they do, and their alignments, and they play extremely hard. And I know that last year they had some injuries, especially to a defense. One of the defensive ends was injured. I think he played 4 games last year, and before he went out, he was leading the ACC in sacks. So you're going to see a group that's going to play extremely hard in front of their home crowd, a night game, and we've definitely got our work cut out for us.
What percentage of offense are you using? What percentage is installed at this point?
Yeah, I mean, we're up there. I mean, we're up there. Obviously, getting Taj more involved has really helped kind of push us over the edge a little bit. I wouldn't say we got it all in, but we're 85% or so. The thing that I'm excited about is you're watching Taj, and he's just becoming more and more confident in running the ball. Obviously, he had a great night throwing the other night, but when you see him running the ball, he's running with an attitude. He's running with some authority and behind his pad level, and that's something you didn't see last year. He was real hesitant, and that I'm really excited about. Where the direction that we're going with him in our run game, and so without a doubt, he's getting a lot of confidence in his running ability.
With Martavis Bryant back, all the zero coverage, man-to-man, it's got to be good to have that weapon out there again, healthy.
Yeah. It's good to see Tay get going and get him in a mix, and catching a few balls the other night, and Jerron Brown, and there was several of them. But yeah, he provides such a great acceleration and big body. We're excited that he's back 100% as well. So, again, we got Sammy going. Obviously, we know what Nuke has done. Jerron had a great night the other night. Martavius, and those guys have really gotten going. Our offensive line is, get everybody going and get Andre going in the run game. I mean, I think, the one thing that a year ago at this time, I didn't feel like that we were playing our best football. Where right now, I feel like we're really starting to see that gradual climb, and I think one of the best things that happened to us was from an offensive standpoint was Virginia Tech, and I think it brought some of these guys back down to earth, and realize that, hey, you know what, you better bring your A game every week.
Am I wrong in thinking that I thought Taj would have a pretty good game when I saw him on one of the first 2 drives throw it out of bounds on 3rd down? Mm-hmm. Is that
I thought that
key?
was one of his best passes all night. He was able to throw it away, and again, it's just being able to manage the game. He gets these tip sheets or reminders. I call them game day reminders that we put in their locker or his locker. It's just a 3 little bullet points, 4 bullet points, whatever it is. And that's one of them every week, is manage the game and move the chains. And sometimes your best pass would be to throw it away. And I think when he saw that, and then his ability to pull down on a 3rd and 4 on their sidelines and be able to tuck it and go run, pick it up, and then again pick up another 3rd down run going in to score. I mean, it's I think when you see him doing those things early in the game, it's a great indication that he's on.
What was the practice division like with Adam Humphries last week? How much did you use him? How much did Coach Venables use him with working in the secondary?
I think Coach, those guys, I think they pulled him over there a couple periods a day. I mean, I don't know it, because I know the periods that he was over there might have been some of our run game schemes that we were working on, but again, it was good to see Adam. I mean, if anybody can do it, he can do it.
He'll still play some offense.
Oh, he's going to play a lot of offense, yeah. You bet. I mean, we ain't quite giving him whatever we got to do, but I mean, no, he's definitely a big part of our success.
You say your offense is
and helping push Sammy too. I can tell you, he's really done a good job pushing Sammy and kind of getting Sammy going in competition at that position.
You said 7-1. You feel better with your offense than you did at 8-0 last year. This time,
I do.
What are the exact reasons you feel?
No, I think they're playing with a lot more confidence. I think that there's a lot of the chemistry is really sound. Obviously, and there's some production levels at certain positions that hadn't produced like they did last year, and that's okay, because other positions have produced more. Mm-hmm. And so that's always good to see, and other guys kind of stepping in and watching your quarterback, watching Taj. Again, we talk about being a part of the run game, and him being able to grow up in this thing right now over the last 7-8 weeks and see him mature. I feel like that we're starting that gradual peak, that gradual rise over the next 4 weeks, and that's a good indication right now. Obviously we're further involved in our offense than we were a year ago at this time, Where a year ago this time we were just trying, everything was brand new to them.
Mm-hmm.
Anything I was putting in was brand new. Where now it's, okay, hey, it all kind of flows together. There's concepts that work together, and I remember this, and now let's add the addition to it. So.
Is it ironic that this time last year you only had 8 turnovers, and then this is the stretch where you guys?
Oh God, I bring that up.
But do you bring that up to the team and say that's when it
Well,
turned
no,
around?
I mean, I think you bring up, you look back on last year and you find out where your downfalls were, and obviously turnovers were a big part of it. What caused us to create, what caused us to give the ball up? It wasn't that we just said, hey, we're just not going to take care, we're not going to preach it at practice. It was a mental focus, and I think the way our schedule is set up for us, with our open week and then be able to play a Thursday night game and give another day or so off for our players is really going to kind of bring us mentally, for this Final Four that you're after, this Final 4 weeks. And, it'll be, we talk all the time about, November is a time to remember. And you're going to be remembered what you do in November. And we're going to preach that. And you maintain your focus for the final 26, 27 days that we're here. And let's go get this done. And I think right now, when you look at our players, a year ago this time, we were just battling for an open week. I mean, everybody was mentally strained for this 1 week that we were fixing to get off, which would be next week. And so, it was a mental challenge for everybody, for our young players, where now it's everybody, there's just a sense of freshness about them. And, pep in their step, they're excited. They had a day off Saturday and got a chance to watch everybody else and to get ready for this Final Four. So I think that alone has helped us a bunch.
That kind of gives you an advantage with Duke because Duke hasn't had an open week yet, and theirs is next week.
Theirs is next week. Yeah, we were there last year, so we know what those guys have been going through, and you just keep grinding and keep pushing toward it. But with us being able to have the open week, come back and play a game, and now you asked me a week ago, we were battling 2 games in 12 days. It was pretty strained on everybody. But knowing that we were going to get that day off, so for our players has been huge. So I'm really excited. I know our staff is, and our players are as well. Just to get in this and meet this great challenge that we got ahead of us at Duke, and this Saturday night, and just take it 1 week at a time. But you got 26 days left, and the only one you can control is this Saturday night.
On Thursday, you mentioned leaving Taj in for that last series to see if he could get that.
Yeah, I went to Coach Sweeney. I had found out that he was 9 yards short of a career high, and for what he's done for our program, what he's done here, and I think that it says a lot. That hey, can we get him his career high? And something that without getting hit, that was one thing. Coach Sweeney, I had to promise Coach Sweeney that he wouldn't get hit. So I was trying to call the plays that he wouldn't get hit, and we dropped the first one, and the second one gets batted, and so at that point it was it. I ain't battling for you after this third down call here. So you're on your own on this one. You're coming out, and then luckily we were able to find it, and he found it. And it was great for him, and obviously for the program and for what he's done here.
Is there any part of that to have that in the back of your mind when you go recruiting and say, hey, Taj is breaking this record, Sam is doing that, and just kind
of I think as you look at it, as you start, I thought Thursday night was on national television with everybody in the country watching. I know what we do on Thursday nights, and our players do. I think it was great for recruiting. I really do. I think it's great for. The showing obviously that we had. I mean, it was really good for our recruits, and sure, those things you go out and you talk about and you sell your program too, and you sell what you do offensively, and this is what we do, and look at the records that you've broken here, and because that's all they are. They're going to be broken again. It's just a matter of time, and so again, we're excited. We got a good fresh start and ready to go, and get ready for this opportunity we got this week. So.
When you talk about Adam's double duty, what is it about him that enables him to do that? Is it football smart?
I think he's just very, very, very intelligent. He's a guy that knows football, and that may sound kind of a corny statement. I mean, the guy knows football, and he's if anybody could do it, he can do it. I mean, and he can do it at whatever expense you need it done. I mean, however many plays he needs to do it, let's go. You know, and the thing about Adam is Adam loves football. I mean, you can tell it. He enjoys it. He wants to be around. He wants to play, and you know, he's getting his 30 snaps or whatever he's getting on offense. You know, and you know that's nothing. That's about 2 periods in practice out here. So he can get another 30 somewhere if he needs that. So, you know, he's a guy that definitely is. He's going to get lined up. He's not going to get you beat. And he's just like us on offense. I mean, he's a guy, I've said it many times before. You put Adam Humphries on the field, you can literally turn your back and know that the job's going to get done.
You had a chance to meet or talk to the new athletic director?
No, I've been preparing for Duke. I don't even know anything about all that. So I know they're supposed to have some press conference today. We're excited with whoever it is.